After 4 Zelda videos in a row, a miracle if I do say so myself, it's time to come back to this game. And an awakening right at the exit. Thank you, I'm gonna take that. Okay, yeah, it rains in this place now. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try and avoid this guy here. His name is Hiker Anthony. I remember him because he used to call me all the time back in the day. And, oh, this is our introduction to Team Rocket. Basically, for all 3 of you that haven't played this game, and yes, I'm really going to make that joke again, Team Rocket disbanded 3 years ago during the events of Generation 1. And what happened there? Where'd the dud come from? I don't see Barry anywhere, so I'm just gonna assume that the Rocket Grunt punched him in the gonads or something like that. But anyway, they disbanded 3 years ago, but now they're back causing more trouble, even without their leader at the time, which was Giovanni. Don't worry, we're going to be hearing a lot about Giovanni throughout this game. Heck, we already saw his name mentioned once, and it was only a short piece of dialogue. So, yeah, everything at Team Rocket right now seems to revolve around 2 things. Making money the wrong way like they used to, and try and bring back Giovanni at the helm of Team Rocket. So as I said, I'm going to head back into the Union Cave because I haven't fully explored what was in there just yet. By the way, one of you guys told me a funny story that happened here in the Union Cave. Basically what happened was that the guy was training his Togepi with the shell bell attached to it, and, well, as we all know, early on, Togepi has nothing but Metronome to attack, so he asked his Togepi to use Metronome, and Metronome managed to draw Flame, so the Togepi threw away the precious shell bell at the opponent, never to be seen again. Now, the story doesn't say if the last time he saved was, a long time ago, but still, it's sort of very irritating to lose an item like that because Metronome drew the wrong move. I was surprised when I read about it because I thought Fling was one of those moves that Metronome couldn't use for that very reason, so that you don't lose your items for nothing. But, oh well, guess the programmers didn't think it was that much of an issue. Shame, really. And I don't know why, but when I read this story, it reminded me of really, really stupid story that happened to me all those years ago. It was in Diablo 2. I don't remember exactly why I thought of that story, since it's completely unrelated. It's not even the same game. But anyway, it just goes to highlight how stupid people can be sometimes. Yeah, Battle.net folks are sometimes on par with YouTube folks, and that's saying a lot. Anyway, what happened was that it was the year after the expansion came out, that would be 2002, and I had an Amazon at the time. It was a strafe Amazon, and yes, I know that multi-shot is widely considered to be better than strafe, but I don't know why, but I always liked strafe better for some reason. But anyway, here I was spamming strafe, and then this complete noob just told me, "Hey, use multi-shot, noob!" So, okay, he wants me to use multi-shot, I'm gonna use multi-shot. So I started spamming my glorious level 1 multi-shot that shot an incredible 2 arrows at once. So after a few seconds of this, he was all like, "Okay, fine, use strafe." Anyway, we're done with the Union Cave, which really wasn't all that bad. And here's that NPC here telling me that, yes, it was that bad. Come on, it's not that big. If you go to explore the basement, sure, it's rather big, but you need Surf for that. We can't do it quite yet. And besides, we're not talking about Mount Moon. Mount Moon was a lot longer than this, so there's really no room for complaining anyway. Got 2 apricorns there, and now I'm ready to fight Hiker Anthony. Reason why I remember him so much is because, as I said, he calls me all the time Which reminds me of something that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't for some reason. Back in Gold, Silver, Crystal, sometimes when certain trainers would call you, it would be to warn you that there are swarms that are happening on certain routes. I'm sure everyone who saw the classic Pokémon from TSG back in March remembers the Schoolboy Chad incident. But yeah, that's another function those phone calls had, warn you about swarms. But they don't do that in Heart Gold and Soul Silver anymore. Instead, swarm warnings have been reassigned to the worst radio show in the universe, which we're going to get to when we get to Goldenrod, I guess. And yes, I'm still calling it the worst radio show in the universe, even though it has an actual function this time around. But I guess it's just that it left so much of an impression on me back in the Generation 2 days, because the dialogue was just that bad. It was randomly generated, and seriously, it might as well have been picking random words out of Webster's, because if you don't believe me, I don't remember which part or whatever. If you still have a working copy of a Generation 2 game, just tune in and see for yourself. That was just terrible. Anyway, after I trade phone numbers with this guy, we're gonna be done with this route. Yeah, it was a really short route. One trainer and some tall grass that you can keep out of entirely. But yeah, we're gonna head to Azalea Town. There are a few things of note there. First, there's the Slowpoke well that we saw earlier, but we can't go in right now because there's a Rocket Grunt blocking the way. And there's also a Rocket Grunt blocking the way to the gym because we need to do the Slowpoke well first. And the Slowpoke well is blocked because we need to go see Kurt first. Yeah, the Kurt who makes those custom Pokeballs from apricorns. That's one of the two functions of apricorns in this game. As for the second one, we're going to get into that a bit later when we get to that point. Anyway, big story in Azalea is that all the Slowpokes in town have been taken away. They all disappeared. And, yeah, basically Team Rocket is involved in that. They're cutting off Slowpoke's tails and selling them for $1 million. Remember that guy on Route 32 who wanted to sell a Slowpoke tail for that price? Thankfully, there's nothing that's nearly as overpriced as this here. But, yeah, it was all part of Team Rocket's scheme, and apparently Slowpoketails are a delicacy for some reason. I don't know about you, but, tails from random animals aren't what I would expect to be tasty. I mean, someone, somewhere, had to try those Slowpoke tails somehow and take a bite off of one and said, this is delicious! What kind of crazy-ass guy would do that? Then again, and I'm gonna come back to this a bit later on because this here is the charcoal kiln where charcoals are produced, so that means guess what item we're gonna get from them a bit later on. Yep, it's totally gonna be a Mystic Water. Nah, just kidding, it's obviously gonna be a charcoal. Anyway, we got those Farfetch'd here that cut wood and bring it back here to assist in the production of the charcoals. Fearful! Okay, sorry, I just had to. Anyway, about what I was about to say about the Slowpoketails, I remember seeing something on TV back during the 2008 Olympics about a restaurant in Beijing that actually served dog penises. Yes, I am dead serious. I'm not making this up. You may think I'm completely crazy and I'm making this up, but I'm not. There's really a restaurant in Beijing that sells dog penises. And I don't mean that as a profanity or anything. It just goes to say that, you know, someone actually must have tried a dog penis and said, that's so tasty. And then they started serving that in restaurants. I swear, those Chinese So, just goes to show, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised about Slowpoketails because they have their equivalent in real life, but still, people are gonna eat anything! Sorry, I just can't get over that. Yes, they know hidden moves. Oh yeah, what he's saying here is that a Pokemon can use HMs outside of battle, even if it's fainted. So let me get this straight. A fainted Pokemon can use Cut on a tree, but not on an opposing Pokemon. How does that work? Anyway, I'd really like to see what goes on when a fainted Pokemon uses an HM move. It's like, is it like lying on the ground, and then it slashes the tree telepathically or something? I have no idea. I have no idea how that works. I guess it's something that they added in the game for convenience, but still, it makes absolutely no freaking sense. And that's why I would love to see what actually goes on, but the graphic limitations on the games don't allow for it. Okay, there was no item in the wood like there was on the stack of wood right next to the charcoal kiln. Anyway, this is Kurt's house, and he makes custom balls out of apricorns. For the most part, they're pretty much worthless, especially in Hard Gold and Soul Silver, where you can buy dusk balls. But anyway, he's going to give us the rundown of what's going on with Team Rocket, and he's going to try and stop them on his own, which is why I needed to come here before heading into the Slowpoke well. But since obviously, since I'm not the one doing this, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So I'm going to have to be the one who does the job instead. So now that that's done, we can head into the Slowpoke well. I was about to say the Slowpoketail, and yeah, the looks of the well have been greatly improved since Generation 2. Yet another thing that's very much graphical eye candy. But anyway, at least he got that guard up top out of the way, but there's still a few more rockets in this well, so that means we're going to need to take care of them. Oh, by the way, another change to Team Rocket compared to the originals is that now the executives actually have names. Yeah, they're a bit, well, they are maybe not more fleshed out, but at least they have actual identities instead of being all generic and using generic sprites and stuff. But the weird thing is that they actually changed the names between the Japanese and English versions. Now I can sort of understand why they changed the one that we're about to meet in the well. Oh god, not another Rattata. Oh man, can't wait to have something to hit them with. And the next move Ghastly is gonna learn is Sucker Punch, which is unreliable as shit, especially since Rattatas don't tend to attack ghost types at all, so yeah, completely useless. I'm almost contemplating keeping Lick a little while longer because Sucker Punch is so unreliable and has so little PP. But anyway, they changed the name of the executive we're going to meet from Proton to Lance, which makes sense since we don't want to have two characters named Lance wandering around. But the others, well, there was no reason at all to change them. So yeah, what the hell? Oh, and by the way, just so that if you're wondering, we didn't fight an executive in the Slowpoke well in the original games, but that was something that they added. Either that or they replaced one of the grunts with Proton. Yeah, I think that's what they did, actually. So, I guess that's going to be all for today. Next time we're going to continue the Slowpoke well. And a Super Potion to finish things off. Nice.